We are back, Eagles. Welcome to the new Eagle Sports Update, your window into the world of sports here at Eastern Michigan University. I'm your host, James Dorr, and I'm joined by my co-host, Blake McQuarrie.
That's right, James. We are so excited to be back and cannot thank you all enough for tuning in. We've got some great segments for you guys here today, including a look into our Eastern Michigan University lacrosse team, an interview with two of our lacrosse players, and of course, our first segment this week in Ipsy Sports.
Welcome to This Week in Ipsy Sports, where we break down what our sports teams have been up to this last week. Let's begin with basketball.
On the 17th, our men's basketball team won their home game against Bowling Green State University this week, 69-60, led by Tyson Acuff, who recorded his first career double-double with 34 points and 10 rebounds. Unfortunately, this momentum did not help them against the Buffalo Bulls, as they lost 78-69, leaving their record as 10-16 overall on the season.
Our women's basketball team unfortunately also lost to NIU on the 17th, 52-61. Lachelle Austin led the team with 19 points, leaving the team with a record of 6-17. But make sure to come out and watch our basketball teams finish up their seasons. The team schedules can be found on Eastern's website.
And tuning into our baseball team, they swung into their season opener on the 16th against the Belmont Bruins. The Eagles unfortunately took a loss 4-3. It was a back-and-forth battle and was a close way the whole game. The Eagles got their first run of the season off of a sacrifice fly hit by Glenn Miller and was ran in by Lucas Johnson. The Eagles begin their season 0-1.
Our tennis team's 5-match winning streak has ended on the 11th against Michigan State, losing 4-0. This is the first time this season that the Eagles haven't scored a single point in doubles. And also on the 16th, the team lost again to the Butler Bulldogs 4-1, with Andrea Curez scoring the Eagles' lone point. The team's record stands at 5-3 heading into their next game on the 27th.
That is all we have time for today in this week's segment. We want to thank you all and to our Eastern student athletes to know that we are rooting for you. Let's get into our next segment and take a closer look at the Eagles lacrosse team.
7 minutes.
The Eagles lacrosse team is a new team in the MAC Conference, as they have just kicking off their second season starting in 2024. The team finished their first season with a record of 2-14, but will be much improved this coming season.
The team is bursting with talent heading into their second season, starting with their head coach, Lisa Tisdale. She has 12 years of coaching experience that include Michigan State University, Augustana College, and Central Michigan. They were also able to bring back Mackenzie Blackwell, who as a freshman had 41 points and was voted Mid-American Conference Freshman of the Year.
The Eagles' schedule will include 16 games this season, 6 at home, 9 away, and 1 neutral site game against the University of Michigan. The team will face off against 4 teams that competed in the NCAA tournament last season. Those teams are Notre Dame, Marquette University, Michigan, and MAC Conference rivals Central Michigan.
Come show your support as the Eagles lacrosse team faces off against Winthrop University at home. We hope you're all as excited as we are for this lacrosse season, and we know not all of you out there understand how lacrosse works, which is why our next segment is going to take a closer look at how lacrosse is played. So, let's get into it.
Yeah, the lacrosse girls have 6.
I am joined here by two of Eastern Michigan's lacrosse players, Matt Grissinger and Gretchen McCann. Today we're going to talk about lacrosse for dummies and give a basic overview of the game of lacrosse. So for all those, casuals like Blake and myself can get a little caught up to speed. So first, ladies, I would just ask you, what is the most important part of being a lacrosse player?
The most important part is probably IQ and just understanding the rules of the game, and then honestly just having fun and playing with instinct.
What's the rule that most common is, that is most commonly missed or most commonly, you get a penalty on?
I feel like the hardest rule is probably shooting space. We get caught in that a lot, especially like younger girls who don't understand the rules yet. That's a big problem. Obviously in college we're pretty good at it, but we still get caught in shooting space sometimes.
What's the shooting space look like? Do you mind demonstrating
Yeah,
that?
so to play legal defense, you have to be marked, which is a stick's length away. So like I'm marked here, but if I back up any farther, then I'm illegally playing defense. And so if a girl's coming down and she's ready to shoot and you're not within a stick's length, that's technically shooting space. And she gets a free position, which is kind of like a free throw
Okay.
in basketball terms. So it's like a 1v1 against the goalie.
Oh, so you're just open. It's just you and the goalie? Okay.
Yep.
So, and then you said you were attack. So talk about kind of your role as an attack player on the team. What is that? How do you kind of look for your shots during games?
Yeah. I play down low, but I also play on the wings too. So I'm mostly a feeder and a cutter. So I look for my shots off of cuts and inside shots.
So could you all demonstrate what a cut looks like and kind of how that looks? Because, for us, we may not understand how is that kind of set up.
Yeah.
Do you want to cut and I can like
Yeah, the
throw?
easiest
Yes.
thing is like to catch your defender sleeping. So you kind of, you kind of want to come in and then out around them, try to beat
to
them.
like receive the ball.
Yeah, you want to get your arms free so that you have a good target for someone to throw you that pass.
Okay, so that's almost like a juke move,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So that's nice, awesome. And so I know you're a defender.
Yep.
Talk about just your roles as a defender. What are you doing out there? What's the motive? How defending works in lacrosse.
So you need to have like your stick legal. You'll have it like this on their body and you're trying to stop them from going to the goal, basically. So you're just trying to like force them to a side that they don't want to go, basically.
So can I just whack them with it? Or like,
No,
That
no,
was
no.
my next
No.
question.
No.
It's like
No, so we can do stick checks where you can like check the head of their stick where the ball comes out, so I can go like that. But you can't like hit them with the stick, obviously.
What about inadvertent contact?
What do you mean?
So like if I accidentally, I'm
accidentally-
aiming for the head of the
Oh.
stick,
you
but I
hit 'em.
accidentally hit you.
Yeah,
What
that would be a
happens there?
penalty.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's towards the head, it's a yellow card. You're out for 2 minutes. We
Yeah.
put man down.
Ooh. Yep, man. So you're man down if, say that again, if you,
If you hit the girl in the head or within 7 inches of her head, you can get a yellow card and you're out for 2 minutes and your team plays man down.
now can we do a demonstration of just how to simply throw
Yeah.
and then also catch?
Yeah.
So what does that look like in terms of how do you properly throw and catch?
Yeah. So you want to think of your stick as just like an extension of your arm.
Okay.
So when you throw the ball, it's similar to like if I had a baseball and I threw it, I have the ball here and then I throw it. It's like yeah.
A follow through?
Yeah.
But how do I keep it so the ball doesn't like go forward or backwards? Like how does that work?
Gotta release it at like
Yeah.
a good point. Like probably release it like towards your head more. So like right here, release the ball.
Yeah.
And then follow through.
And then you also, so in your stick, you want to put the ball like here. This is called your sweet spot. And so you get the ball into your sweet spot and then you release it here. Or like if you release it sooner, it'll go higher. And if you release it later, it'll go to the ground.
So then demonstrate what's a release if I want it to go to the ground
Okay. Like here.
down there. Okay,
Yeah.
what if I wanted to go high?
There.
Right there. Okay, okay. So then as a defender, are you kind of typically doing a high release in terms of trying to clear the area, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean defenders don't clear the ball as much as like a midfielder or I guess attackers will, because that's not really our job on the field. But yeah, if I was trying to get it like over someone's head, I would want to release it higher so that it doesn't get like picked off by someone else.
So as a defender, is there a certain area you can only go to, right? Because there's only a certain amount of players that can cross midfield, right?
Yeah, so the midfielders can go on the whole length of the field, but defenders can only go to the opposite restraining line, and then attackers can only go to our opposite restraining line.
So can the ball roll on the ground? Like what does that look like just
Yes.
with the ball rolling, and how
The-
is that? What's that function like?
The ball actually is on the ground quite a bit, so
Okay.
then you'll want to do ground balls where you like go down and pick up the ball and then cradle it to your face.
Okay. So can anybody do like has there ever been like a trick like in soccer like going through somebody's legs or like something like that? Like is that able in lacrosse? Like can that happen or no? That's just
I mean, I don't think there's a specific penalty for it, but it'd probably be hard.
Not really. I
Yeah.
mean, I know you can't go like between the legs of someone else and come up because that's like towards the body and that's a penalty. I don't know if trick. I guess we like kick the ball or we do the same thing where we call it fanning, where we just like hit it out to your teammate to pick up.
If you're unable to
Yeah.
get it.
So before we wrap this segment up, I need to see the coolest kind of trick that you guys can do with the stick. Like if I'm in open space, I got defenders near me, like how are you moving the stick?
I don't know. We cradle and then like we can do behind the back shots or you can do
Ooh,
a
what's that look
Twizzler.
like?
I don't like
Yeah, I just
that
wanted to see that.
or
Okay.
A Twizzler.
What's a
or
Twizzler?
You come down and then rotate it and then up. Or in around the world, you come here and then it's around your back that way.
So you need to understand that it may seem simple to you,
Yeah.
but to me, this is like,
That's
whoa,
right. Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
you're just like doing this, and I'm just like, just so casually, and I'm just like, come on now, like you gotta slow it down
Yeah.
for us, okay?
That's what I'm looking at the sticks right now, and there's not a lot of barrier around where that ball sits.
Yeah.
So how does the ball just stay in there? Like, is there a tactic for that?
Yeah.
Because I remember when I tried to play lacrosse, that ball was flying out within 2 seconds of me running with the stick. So how does that just sit in there, and like how do you guys get it to just?
Well, you definitely cannot run down the field like with your stick just like this.
Okay.
You have to cradle it like
Mhm.
I teach the little girls at home when I'm coaching that if you put a ball in here with a smiley face, pretend like it's your friend. And so your friend's talking to you, and then you're talking to your friend, and then they're talking to you. And so that's how you get that motion down.
Ooh.
And then eventually, like, you can have it back here and do all different things. But, yeah. And then if you have a defender, like, you can cradle high, you can cradle low, you can cradle across your body, switch your hands, whatever.
Ooh, okay. Now, Gretchen, I need to see your best move here before we
Yeah.
wrap up.
Well, we know she's more of a defender,
I don't do
but
the stick tricks.
you don't. What's like your best tactic as a defender then? What's like the number one thing that you're going to do to try to stop somebody from scoring a goal?
I would say be aggressive and like get in their hands so that they
Okay.
can't shoot and stuff. So you want to get really close to their hands and their body, so it makes it hard for them to pass and shoot.
Can we get a demonstration of that? Like,
Yeah.
Max
Yeah.
trying to score a goal right
Here.
now.
Yeah, let's go one on
Maybe,
one.
like in her arms, so she can't
Yeah.
pass as
Because
well
if she pins this down, I have no, like, leverage.
to give the ball.
Yeah.
To give the ball up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our Lacrosse for Dummies segment. But don't worry, these two ladies aren't going anywhere. We're going to have an interview segment. We're going to get to know both Gretchen and Mac better. So stay tuned for that. And we'll jump into the interview segment. Well, first, ladies, I'd like to say, how did you all get started in lacrosse? What was kind of, what kind of got you all started? What made you choose lacrosse?
I started, but I've always had a stick in my hand because my dad played club ball in college at University of Northern Colorado. So, yeah, he just always has sticks around the house, and so he taught me how to play with a boy's stick, and then eventually learned how to play with a girl's stick.
Okay. Same question to you.
Jump and stuff. So yeah, I would say it helped me with speed for lacrosse.
And then I know also in gymnastics, keeping your balance is kind of a huge part of, that sport. Has there kind of been any times while you're playing lacrosse where balance has kind of been something that's been a part of, the game, but you kind of like credit gymnastics for helping you out with, the aspect of balance, or is balance
Yeah.
not really?
I would say balance isn't really a big thing for
Okay.
lacrosse because you're usually on both feet, I would say.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. That is true.
What's the most important thing to train as a lacrosse player in terms of body-wise? Is it conditioning? Is it, strength in terms of upper body strength, being able to, hurl the ball across the field? What is that?
We spend a lot of time conditioning. In our last game against Duquesne, the twins, Abby and Amber, they clocked 6.5 miles in the 60 minutes of the game. So we run a lot, and we have run tests that we prepare for. We're in the weight room about 3 times a week, and we focus a lot on lower body, getting our legs strong, because that's where a lot of our speed comes from. We train upper body, but not as much. I would say a lot of the strength you need is mostly like your forearms and your wrists, honestly. Like for the draw, if you're going up in the air, you need that wrist strength. Yeah.
Okay. And my next question would just be in terms of, do you have a favorite memory while playing or a favorite moment? Doesn't have to be in college, can be at any time.
Yeah. I remember I was in 7th grade, and we went to the Pipe City tournament in Chicago, which is like one of the biggest tournaments in the country. And we were a very young team. We were all in like 7th grade, and we were playing for the U15 division. And I remember everyone was like, who are those girls? Like, where are they from? Because where I'm from Central Illinois, and lacrosse is not a thing where I'm from. So, like, everyone's like, who are these people? They're from Washington is what it said. And they're like, oh, Washington State? No, we're from Washington, Illinois. But we ended up winning that tournament. We went 5-0. And I led the tournament in goals, and I just remember, like,
Ooh.
we were underdogs in that tournament, and we came out on top.
Okay. Gretchen, I'd ask you the same question.
So my junior year at high school, 2021, we actually won the state championship for lacrosse at my high school. So, yeah, that was probably my favorite memory.
Awesome. And I'm just kind of reminisce back on that state championship. How was that in high school, being able to win that? Because, a state championship in high school, it's very rare in any sport. So kind of just talk, about the uniqueness of, winning a state championship in high school.
Yeah, lacrosse was a big thing back where I live. So, yeah, it was a pretty big deal to be able to win that. And, yeah, the state tournament's just, big thing.
What were your emotions, though, in that moment?
Yeah, it was so much fun just to go there for the weekend. And, obviously, we were ahead, most of the game, so I think we knew we were going to get it. But, yeah, at the end, it was so cool to just, run and hug my whole team. And, yeah.
And so I want to talk just more about a lacrosse player, kind of you guys' schedule. What does, on your busiest day, what does a day in the life of a lacrosse player, kind of entail? I guess I'll start with you, Gretchen.
Yeah, we usually start at about 9, 10 a.m. and we'll do pre-practice prep where we go see our trainer or just get changed, get ready for practice. And then our practice is about 2 hours long during the season. And then we'll have a cool down session after that. And then sometimes we'll have conditioning in there. And then we have lift for about an hour too. So we're probably at the facilities for 5 hours a day, I would say. 6, sometimes more. Yeah.
And then can you kind of just talk about the balance of, balancing school life and social life with lacrosse kind of in your schedule?
Yeah. It's actually really nice because Mondays are our off days, and I feel like that's when the team is the most productive. You'll always catch us in the student center just grinding out that homework on Mondays. But I feel like our team, we're very on top of our academics, and our coaching staff is very helpful in the sense that they make sure that we are. They give us that time in, when we're traveling to hotels and stuff, they make sure that they have designated time to study. But yeah, I feel like it's just the mindset of balance. If you have that balance, you're good.
Now, you guys are a young team coming off, your first season ever at Eastern Michigan, lacrosse is being a sport here. Just kind of talk about some of the advantages of that, as you kind of all are, making history, honestly, in a program, and then just competing in a tough MAC schedule, trying to turn things around this coming season?
I feel like being so new and younger than all the other MAC schools, there's not a lot to expect. Like, we're kind of overseen a lot, and so I feel like we have an advantage in that sense because no one knows what to expect. We're ready to go out there and just play, dominate. I think it's really fun because we're both sophomores. There's 21 of us in our class. There's 10 freshmen, so we're all close in age, and we're kind of just learning everything together.
And so, kind of talk about Coach Tisdale a little bit. I know, like James just mentioned, you guys are a new program. You guys come from all over the country. First starting out here at Eastern Michigan University. Talk just about Coach Tisdale and having that experienced coach kind of lead you guys as a pack.
Yeah, I mean, I think since she's been coaching for so long, she knows like what to expect having a ton of young people on the team. She's really patient with us and knows there's going to be lots of like learning to overcome and stuff like that. So, yeah, but she's a great coach.
Yeah, so this is actually my first season at Eastern. Last year I was at Central Michigan, which is where Coach Tisdale came from. So I was a Coach Tisdale recruit over at Central, and I didn't have the best experience. I wanted to enter the portal, and I knew that Coach Tisdale was someone that I had a great connection with. And, I mean, obviously, she won me over again. She's going to win me over every time. She's a great coach. She's a great person, and she really has the best interest for all of us.
But let's, I guess, just kind of talk about that decision, entering the portal. So much is made about it in, football and basketball. Does it kind of work the same in lacrosse, or is it a little bit different?
Yeah. So Central won the MAC last year, went to the NCAA. So my slot was, I feel like it was a little bit shorter. I think I had about 15 days to enter the portal and kind of get it figured out, which was a little scary. I went on 2 visits and then reconnected with Tisdale, committed here. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, my next question was just going to be, what does a day off look like for this lacrosse team? What do you enjoy doing outside of playing lacrosse? Is it ball is life, or do we have? What is it like on the off day?
Sleep, repeat.
What do we got?
I mean, okay, so Mondays are off days, and I feel like we try to let ourselves sleep a little bit, but at the same time, we want to be productive since it is our only off day. So I say I get up at like 9:30, run to the store. Usually I like to go to Trader Joe's on Monday. That's my thing.
Hey,
and then go to the student center for a couple hours, grind out some homework, and then I have 2 classes. And then I just make dinner and chill.
And Gretchen, what about you? What does a day off look like for you?
I'm not a morning person at all, so I definitely like to sleep in a little later than that. But then, yeah, I also go to the student center, get a lot of my homework done, maybe watch some film when I don't have time during the week. Don't usually get out to the field on our off days because it's like our only day where we're not out there. But, yeah, I get a lot of homework done.
And then, kind of just looking ahead into the season. And, it can even be kind of, your career. What's, like, the biggest goal? What are the expectations for the team and then you guys, as a player yourselves?
Obviously, ring the MAC championship. But, yeah, I mean, just consistency. I would say, like, getting playing time, doing well on the field for my team. That's probably my goals.
Yeah, if we don't make it to the MAC tournament, we will be done with our season in April. So the goal is to be playing lacrosse in May. So we want to make it to the MAC tournament. The top 4 teams get there, and the winner of that gets to go to the NCAA tournament. We get a ring. So that's really the goal. In the preseason poll, we are 4th, I believe. So it looks like we'll be going there if we stay on track. We're 0-2 right now, but we're about to head to DC to play against Howard, and then we're going to go to Delaware to play against Del State. So our goal is to be 2-2 at 500 coming off of spring break. So
now I can just tell by your passion that this is something that you really believe that can be achieved. Last year probably wasn't the case, being honest, right? Is the expectations and just kind of, what do you kind of want the legacy of this team to be? But also you kind of are in a unique position where, mostly everyone from the team that was on there last year is back on the team this year, which is almost unheard of, especially in today's era of college sports. Just kind of talk about the advantage that has and then just kind of the legacy you want to leave.
Yeah, I think we definitely have an advantage returning Mackenzie Blackwell. She led the entire conference in draw controls last year, which draw controls, that means you have the ball and you can't score if you don't have the ball. So having Mackenzie be able to win those draw controls for us is a big deal. Yeah.
Gretchen, we'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, I would say having a bunch of returners from last year really helps with our team chemistry, and it's really hard when you start playing with new people, like new people coming in. So having a lot of returners really helps with our team chemistry, and we all have like the same goal, which is obviously to win the MAC championship. So.
Now, where can we watch this game against Howard?
Ooh, I don't know.
ESPN Plus.
I
ESPN
think.
Plus.
Yeah. I
ESPN
thought so.
Plus. Catch the ladies in action this weekend.
Yep, Sunday.
This Sunday. But unfortunately, that is going to do it for this week's episode of Eagle Sports. Please be sure to tune in for next week's episode. And thank you again for tuning in. We'll be coming out with a new episode every other Thursday this semester so we can continue to keep you all up to date on your favorite EMU sports teams. That's all for me today. I'm James Dorr.
I'm Blake, and we also want to thank our special guests, Gretchen
McCann and Mac Gritzinger.
for coming in and teaching us a little bit more about lacrosse. Have a great spring break, Eagles, and we will catch you later.